The following program is for mature and logical audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Play YMCA. Go ahead. Let's go. Nice and loud.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Thinking Logically. It's your hometown host, Joseph Anthony Corsai here. We finally moved to the 3 p.m. hour. Ryan, how's it feel?
It feels good. It's different, but good.
You look awake. I'm surprised.
I'm a little bit more awake at this hour, yes.
Okay, good. I figured you take it. Do you take naps or no?
I do.
Okay, I figured you're like a nap guy between 2 and 3, so I don't know if this would interfere with the nap schedule or...
The grayer the hair gets, the more the naps they come.
I picture you like a wizard with that beard.
Just like a wizard, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I'm excited to be here at 3 o'clock hour today, Joe. This is going to be a blast.
And we have a jam-packed show today. If you do want to call in and talk about anything at all, you know the number, 724-843-1888 or 724-774-1888. A lot to talk about today. Topics include former White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre. She has a new book out. Also, there's more revelations from the auto pen that ran the White House for the last 4 years, we're learning. Hollywood stars were outed as CIA agents in the P. Diddy trial, the Diddler. What else are we going to cover today? Elon Musk and Donald Trump. They're now in a war of words on social media. What's that all about? Oh, and also, we will have an entire segment this episode dedicated to Pride Month. We forgot about Pride Month last episode. It's June. So not sure if you're glad about Pride Month or mad about Pride Month or interested in Pride Month at all. I know Ryan is, but... We're going to make it fun. But first, yesterday, this is how we're going to kick off the show. The Trump administration came out and said that the wife and children of that Boulder, Colorado Molotov cocktail thrower, how do I describe him, Ryan? Terrorist? Not a domestic terrorist, a foreign terrorist?
Yeah.
Egyptian. Well, the Trump administration said that he's going to be deported and so is his family. And they made it sound like the family was going that night. And then, audience, what did we see happen? Another federal judge stepped in and said, no, you can't deport the family of that terrorist. So what if the terrorist overstayed his visa or brought over the rest of his family and then after that tossed a few Molotov cocktails at some Jewish people? What's the big deal? The guy has due process and his family has due process. So they can stay. Colorado federal judge Gordon Gallagher, a Biden appointee, has issued an order blocking the Trump administration from deporting the wife and 5 children of the Boulder, Colorado terror suspect, Mohammed Solomon. Audience, let me explain to you where we are in this country. The deep state, the Democrats, the media, that's the wing of it, etc., they are using one of the branches of government to run interference on a sitting president and his agenda. A president that won every single swing state, that won the popular vote. And this is after they went after him, both financially and criminally, for bogus charges. Remember, this is why Trump won. That in the border and illegal immigration. And now a judge, a district, is telling the president who he can and can't deport? So now we can't deport the family members of terrorists? They get due process? The dude overstayed his visa. He should be gone for that alone. Ignore the fact that he was, let me check my notes, lighting Jews on fire. And a judge, an unelected judge, gets the final say on whether or not his family can stay or not. This judge, you got to see this dude, this judge, his jaw. My Lord, I don't know if he's a Neanderthal. What? He doesn't look human. You can almost see the fact that he's a lizard person hiding in human skin right in front of us. Ryan, look up a picture of if you ever get a chance, if you get bored. Judge Gordon Gallagher.
All right.
Stephen Miller. Remember, he's Trump's deputy chief of staff. He put this out on X. The entire family are illegal aliens. One of the first facts discovered during the investigation. The foreign terrorist committed immigration fraud to bring his family to the United States, all of whom are illegal, all of whom must be ejected. I like that word. I like that term, ejected. This is the definition of suicidal migration. And he's right. That's from Stephen Miller, a.k.a. La Kosher Nostra, a.k.a. the MAGA Mensch. And he's right. These people are here illegally. Well, what part of here illegally did the judge not understand, the lizard judge? The family is here illegally. By definition, they shouldn't be here. Like Rick Astley said, Ryan, you know the rules, and so do I. I mean, how many times do we have to play that before people get it? Let me give me one more time. Give me that Rick roll one more time. You know the rules, and so do I. If you're here illegally, you gotta go. You have to. You shouldn't be here. And then there's the media that writes these articles to try to pull the heartstrings with the family, and he had children. Can you believe a man had children? Look at this headline from the USA Today. Audience, brace for impact when I read this. Brace for impact. Here we go. Headline: Boulder suspect's daughter dreamed of studying medicine. Now she faces deportation. And it goes on. Habiba Solomon wanted to be a doctor. Then her father firebombed Jewish marchers in Boulder. Habiba Solomon, her 4 siblings, and their mother are Mohammed Salman's latest victims? What? The family was arrested by immigration officials and face deportation. Does the USA Today forget that there are medical schools in Egypt? How loud do I have to scream? Am I the only one that sees it? She dreamed of studying medicine. Well, I know a place where a region where people get hurt all the time because of terrorism. It's the Middle East. Why don't you go study medicine there? And the media is worried about the 5 children that have to be. We should just assume they may be in on it. Is that if they were Germans and it was World War II, and this is a German family that blew up a train tracks, a logistical train track, would the whole family not be rounded up? If it was a Japanese, they would have been, and some of them were American citizens. Oh, we can't deport the family. What about the family? Like Tom Homan said, we keep the families together. No exceptions. They're all going. They're all gone.
But the family of the Jewish people, you know what I mean? Why is there no sympathy for the people whose families actually got firebombed?
Ryan, you must be fired up. Your show, I've never seen you sleeveless in the studio before. You have your tattoos. You have your tattoos out. I wish you could put the camera around and see what I can see right now.
It's 3 o'clock, Ryan.
You literally rolled up your sleeves. What happened? I wasn't paying attention for a second, and you rolled up your sleeves, and you're all tatted up.
I'm all fired up, man.
Speaking of Tom Homan and ICE, though, play the clip of Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries saying that ICE agents need to be doxxed and their identities now. Play that when you get a chance.
Every single ICE agent who's engaged in this aggressive overreach and are trying to hide their identities from the American people will be unsuccessful in doing that. This is America.
What? Hakeem? Let's think logically. The name of the show about this for a second. Now, I understand it does seem a little bit weird to see mass people show up, detaining these people here illegally, some of which are gang members and, illegal aliens, gangbangers here selling drugs, Lord knows what else. But Hakeem Jeffries, you are the minority leader. Just think about this. Could the reason that these specific ICE agents have their identities hidden be maybe that the cartels and the other criminal organizations would target them and their families? You idiot. You dumb idiot. What else do we have here? Audience, remember that judge in Arizona who had a severed head? He had that criminal illegal alien just staying with him. His wife invited him in like it was Larry David in the was the actor from Curb Your Enthusiasm. Oh, I can't remember his name. It's going to bother me now. He's hilarious. Like it was Katrina or something. They invited people to come stay over. There's a border crisis. Hello, fellow Mexican gang member. Come stay with us. And the guy's cell phone has severed heads and stuff on it. Well, that former judge, Joel Cano, he's been banned for life from judicial duties. And authorities arrested, after the authorities arrested that dangerous gang member that he was, I guess, protecting. I don't know what the word to use is. Sleepovers. That's how the media will put it. They were having sleepovers together. That's all. All right, so we have all these illegal criminals coming. This is just from south of the border in Latin America. South America, Mexico, Central America. What about like criminal... I guess the guy was Egyptian. That's Middle East. But again, that's the point I'm making. What happens when they're all from the Middle East or worse, China or something like that? So President Trump implemented a travel ban that fully or partially restricted entry from 19 countries. And this is coming from CBS News. In the fully restricted countries are Afghanistan, Burma, Chad, the Republic of the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, not New Guinea. That's where Joe Biden's Uncle Brosie was eaten by cannibals. Remember that. This is Equatorial Kennedy. It's on a completely different side. I know it's confusing. I don't even know why. A country I can't even say the name of. Eritrea, Haiti. Oh, remember whenever he banned travel from Haiti last time and he was calling them S-hole countries and he wasn't wrong. Media got him for that. Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. Yeah, let's let more people from Somalia in here. Great idea. I can't wait to see how the media reports on this. And then the partially restricted countries are Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, and Venezuela. Now, what bothers me is I see China isn't on either list. And audience, I don't know if you heard the news. Maybe it should be after what we saw coming out of Michigan the other day. Let me read this. 2 Chinese Communist Party agents were caught trying to smuggle in a toxic, I know what you're thinking, coronavirus, but you're wrong. It was a toxic fungus this time into a Michigan lab. Ryan, did you ever play the iPad game? It was called Infection or something. You have to infect the entire world. It came out in like 2012 when that Matt Damon movie. It was a very popular game. I forget what it was called, but you pick a thing you want to infect the world with. Like the options are bacteria, virus, but one of them is a fungus. And here we are. It's like we're reenacting that game for the past since 2020. Virus, bacteria. Now we got a toxic fungus. Anyway, it was found at the Michigan airport, I believe. Kash Patel put out this statement about the arrest. New. I can confirm the FBI arrested a Chinese national within the United States who allegedly smuggled a dangerous biological pathogen into the country. The individual, Wan Kunran Jian, is alleged to have smuggled a dangerous fungus called, Fusarium grandiserium, which is an argoterrorism agent. And he was trying to seek that into the U.S. to research at the University of Michigan, where she works. This fungus can cause a disease called head blight, a disease of wheat and barley, maize, and rice, causing significant health issues in both humans and livestock. It's responsible for billions of dollars in economic losses worldwide each year. Evidence also indicates Yan had expressed loyalty to the Chinese Communist Party and had received funding from the Chinese government for similar work on this pathogen in China. And now she's coming here to work on it. Anyway, Yuan's boyfriend, Xianhan Liu, also charged in the complaint. You like my... I'm doing good, I think. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Anyway, the boyfriend works at a Chinese university where he conducts research on the same pathogen. What do you know? This is like, let me guess, he works at a wet market. Or here we go. He's a chef at a wet market. Anyway... Liu is alleged to have first lied, then admitted to also smuggling Fusarium gramineasium into America through the Detroit Metropolitan Airport, so that he too can conduct research at the University of Michigan. Both individuals have been charged with conspiracy, smuggling goods in the United States, false statements, and visa fraud. This case is a sobering reminder that the CCP is working around the clock to deploy operatives and researchers to infiltrate American institutions and target our food supply, which would have grave consequences, putting American lives and our economy at serious risk. Your FBI will continue working tirelessly to be on guard against it. Our FBI Detroit office team did excellent work, in this case partnering with CBP. Justice will be done. And again, that's from Kash Patel. So basically, we have all these shows. Remember the show I talk about, Paradise, where it's like a fake, or not, I guess it is kind of a nuclear attack, and they all got to go in these underground bunkers. The show The Last of Us, season 2 just dropped. And in that show, that's what happens. There's this fungus that infects everyone, and I believe it gets in the food via like flour or stuff that's processed, food that's like processed like that. And have you seen the show, heard of the show, The Last of Us? It was based on a video game.
I've heard that, but I've never seen it.
It went really woke, and I quit watching it after season 2, episode 2. I quit watching it. Season 2, episode 3, something like that. Anyway, this fungus actually makes people kind of like zombies, and it's based on a real life fungus. This fungus, I think maybe you saw it on the Discovery Channel, it infects ants. And this fungus will get in an ant's brain, and the ant will, for some reason with this fungus, climb to the top of like a leaf and just wait to be eaten by a bird. And that's how like the fungus recycles. Anyway, this fungus from the show, and maybe from the airport in Detroit where 2 CCP agents were smuggling in, may make people like zombies. And honestly, would a zombie outbreak be that bad in 2025? I'm kind of hoping for a zombie outbreak. I mean, we already have a third of the country that's probably brainless. Quarter, maybe.
Something's going to calm people down, man. Everybody's just going nuts, Joe.
Well, this is going to calm people. I don't think it'll calm people down. I think it'll make them crazy. At least we'll be able to identify easily who the brainless people are.
Right.
Because now we have to wait for them to actually speak. Imagine just being able to look at someone and go, oh, wow, that person is brainless. You wouldn't have to wait for them to see like what their thoughts are on the border. So have them easier to identify. Then that's the district judge, of course, would decide to side with the zombies, which could very well happen in this country. All right, we're going to take a break. When we return, Ryan, we forgot that it's Pride Month, and we're going to dedicate an entire segment to the month of Pride. Stay tuned, listen to Thinking Logically here on the new 3 p.m. hour on 99.3 FM WBVP. It's Joe again from Thinking Logically, here to tell you about one of my favorite clothing items, the MyPillow hoodie. 2 things I love the most about this hoodie are how it fits and how it feels. This hoodie is extremely roomy, and its terry cloth material makes it lighter than any other hoodie I own. Use promo code LOGIC to maximize your savings. The MyPillow hoodie. Get yours today. It's Joe Corsi here from Thinking Logically to tell you about Beaver County's #1 realtor, Mark Galla with RE/MAX Select Realty. With over 10 years experience, Mark knows all the ins and outs of the real estate business, so whether you're looking to rent, buy, sell, or swap your house, you can rely on Mark to take the hassle out. Mark Galla of RE/MAX Select Realty, going above and beyond.
Tri-State Sporting Arms on Main Street in New Brighton is now open. Stop in and explore their extensive selection of high-quality firearms, pistols, and accessories. Tri-State Sporting Arms also pays top dollar for used firearms. Their experienced and highly trained staff is here to assist you in selecting the right firearm for you. Stop on down to Beaver County's newest firearms store, Tri-State Sporting Arms, at 807 3rd Avenue, New Brighton, or check them out on Facebook. Tune in to Beaver County Radio 99.3 FM and 1230 WBVP every Monday and Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. for Thinking Logically with Joe Corsi. It is an all-new show that takes a look at the conservative side of politics. Thinking Logically is also presented on the WBVP-WNBA Facebook page and YouTube channel. That's Thinking Logically with Joe Corsi each and every Monday and Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on Beaver County Radio.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WNBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WNBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WNBA.
Hello, Beaver County, and welcome back to Thinking Logically. Let's take a walk on the wild side for Pride Month. What do you think, Ryan?
Hey, let's do it.
Okay, so again, happy Pride Month, everyone. This is the month where we dedicate an entire month to who you choose to have intercourse with. It's the dumbest thing ever, in my opinion. But hey, boys will be boys and girls will be girls, apparently. So, some Pride-themed stories this segment. First one, Ryan, let's hit it off. Go ahead. Pete Hegseth to remove Harvey Milk's name from a U.S. naval ship. Happy Pride Month, America. Do you know Harvey Milk, Ryan?
That doesn't sound familiar.
Such a gay name, isn't it? Isn't it? Well, I guess I'll urge, because I don't know who Harvey Milk is. I had to do a little deep dive myself.
Yeah, who is this?
Deep dive. Pride Month deep dive. Just, it's all flowing together. Okay, no pun intended there, I promise. Anyway, Harvey Milk, he was one of the first openly gay men elected to a public office in the United States. Can you guess the city?
Educated guess San Francisco.
Wow, Ryan, you nailed it.
Went out on a limb there.
How'd you know that one? Jeez, that's actually impressive. So yes, he was one of the first openly gay men elected to public office. Again, San Francisco Board of Supervisors, 1977.
Oh wow!
I believe the Obama Pentagon was the one that approved the naming of this ship, the USS Harvey Milk. But I like what you said. You had no idea who Harvey Milk was. You never heard of him in your life. But he got a Navy ship named after him. That's the whole point of this part of the segment here. But that's no more. But like the real Harvey Milk, that ship, Ryan, will still be filled with semen.
Oh.
Okay. However, it is getting a name change. Not the gay trans name change or something like that. But before you call me insensitive for making jokes about Harvey Milk and the ship and everything, all I'm saying is this. Did the guy deserve to have a warship named after him in the first place? Let me read you about Harvey Milk, who he is. Harvey Milk got 5,925 votes in 1977. He was a complete nobody. And the San Francisco election system got him that seat. And audience, I hate to do the Joe Biden here and do the creepy lean in and whisper, he was a borderline pedophile. I'm serious. Harvey Milk had a 16-year-old boyfriend when he was, audience, brace for impact, in his mid-30s. He had a 16-year-old boyfriend. What? Audience, let's spitball here. Let's think. Why were Fort Gordon, Fort Benning, Fort Bragg, Fort Hood, Fort Pickett, Fort Lee, why were they all renamed? Why did they have to be renamed? Because those people were bad? What? And this is what we're switching to? Milk, who was, ignore the fact that ignore everything I said. Did you know that Harvey Milk was also, I think he was dishonorably discharged from the Navy. And he gets a warship named after him just because he's gay? Again, if you're just tuning in, Harvey Milk was a pedophile who, doing the creepy Joe Biden leaning, had sexual relations with teenagers. He was in his mid-30s and had a boyfriend who was 16. We talk about the pendulum swinging one way and then the other way. The pendulum is going to swing. Let's start naming some people. Ryan, help me. The USS Robert E. Lee, USS Christopher Columbus, the Washington effing Redskins. Rename a ship that. How about that? How about all the canceled names? We bring them back and we name warship. If you were in the Persian Gulf in like the mid-90s during the Iraq War, and then you were in Iraq and you saw the SS Washington effing Redskins, what are you thinking? Run. You see the the Harvey Milk, you think, wow, I'm thirsty. I'm like look out, here comes the Harvey Milk raining down missiles on us that all have pride flag themed missiles and it's the memes. They're making the memes. I don't know. Okay, let's move on to our next pride themed story. Ryan, cue the music. A leaked medical report shows controversial Olympic boxer Iman Khalif is a biological male. Oh, wow. How'd they figure that? What test did they do to find that one out? Check his Adam's apple? His foreskin? I mean, the only test I needed to see that man was a man was the eye test. I mean, the dude probably didn't even pass the smell test. And I'm not saying that because he's from North Africa. That's not a North Africa joke. Jeez. So the document, which initially was published by Three Wire Sports, summarizes the findings on the Algerian boxer as abnormal. Stating, chromosome analysis reveals male karyotypes. They have names and everything. A karyotype refers to an individual's complete set of chromosomes, with Kalef's having been reported by the International Boxing Association as XY. For those, that's the male pattern. XY is definitely male. Karefa stated a desire. Hold on. Let me read this one. The Kalefa stated a desire to defend the gold medal at the 2028 Summer Olympics in Paris. Well, I think that's what they were. I don't know. So at the 2028 Summer Olympics, wherever the 2028 Summer Olympics are. The boxer, though, has yet to comment on the leak medical report. Where's Jake Tapper? Did he miss this story too? Because it was pretty obvious, just like Biden's mental decline, that this dude was a dude. Where's his book about this one? Audience, think about this. We legalized domestic violence for the Olympics, and we made an Olympic sport, domestic violence. A man punching and beating a woman. They let a man box a woman. They let him in the ring like he was Andy Kaufman.
Yeah, right.
And then he smashed their pretty faces. A man beat up a woman, and that's it. And they looked us all dead in the eye because we did it on this show all summer. They said, that is a woman, shame on you.
Yeah.
Just like they said it's Joe Biden's stutter.
Right.
It's a stutter. It's a woman. Now we find out XY, that's a strong man. Her jaw was stronger than the one judge.
And I did pull up a picture.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Can you show the live stream? Because
Yeah.
I thought it was like a block face, like not a real face.
It's peculiar. Give me one moment. I'll pull it up.
You think he might be a lizard person? Because
Yeah.
some of those lizards have those heads like that, where they're like a gecko, maybe. Not a lizard, a gecko. Are we being specific enough? Maybe, I don't know. But my dear Lord, that man's face, that judge's face.
It's something from a movie. You know what I mean? You're
right. The
a
movie.
villain.
I know the movie you're talking about. Robert Zadar from Tango and Cash. Robert Zadar from Tango and Cash, the guy with the big jaw. He also played Maniac Cop. Just show it whenever.
He does. He has the jaw for a Dick Tracy villain.
Imagine he chews cinder blocks for gum. Please, audience, look at the guy. Look at his jaw. Is it fitting in the camera?
Barely.
Do we get into your biceps or triceps? The only thing that might be bigger than that jaw is Ryan's guns right
now.
All right, let's move on. More Pride Team stuff. Okay, Miami-Dade County. It actually involves a Miami-Dade deputy. So a Miami-Dade deputy who allegedly punched a woman he brought home after realizing she had a male member has been cleared of all criminal charges. 54-year-old Lieutenant Daniel Chala was arrested in April for allegedly battering a transgender woman he met at a club. They throw me off with this transgender. We're just going to call the person a man. According to Chala's lawyer, he drunkenly brought home what he thought was a woman. When they got into Chala's place, the two began kissing when Chala asked the victim a question, which confused the victim due to it being previously answered. When Chala realized he was kissing a dude, things allegedly got physical. So the lawyer goes on, this person came in under false pretenses and my client escorted this person out, said the defense attorney Susie Ribeiro Alaya. She represented at all times that she was a woman when in fact she was a man. Now, let me play the police. I don't know if it was a police camera audio. Play the audio, Ryan.
Okay. Daniel Chala, Miami-Dade County deputy of more than 30 years, is questioned by police at his apartment after a night out at 11.
Why did you kick her out?
Because I didn't care for her.
Why didn't you care for her?
Because I didn't like her.
Okay. Did something happen inside that made you not like her?
Did something happen inside that make what? First of all, it's a dude. Who's her?
Yeah.
Also, why does he need to have a reason to have a stranger there on false pretenses leave his home. Like, are they trying to force this dude on him, or make him feel guilty, or like he's like I don't know. You can't kick someone out of your house if they're there. Like, again, this goes back to the Paul Pelosi thing. We don't know if the dude was just there for a drink and
you know what? When you were just talking about this, that was the first thought that popped into my head. You know, I mean, they were in their underwear. One of the parties said, "Hey, grab the hammer." It's.
I'd like to know the exact point that this dude, this poor 54-year-old man, who's never gonna. This is gonna cause a lot of embarrassment when he returns back to his job as a deputy.
Oh, absolutely.
That's punishment enough for him. Anyway, I'd like to know at the exact point he realized, this is a dude. Was it? I mean,
I don't even want to think about that.
I mean,
moment.
no, I don't either.
Oh.
I don't either. But the fact that he asked him, well, why'd you throw her out?
Yeah.
Why'd you throw her out? What do they offer? How about 2 more beers? Will that make you do it? Like, what are they going to ask next? Who's the victim? Who really is the victim? Anything else you want to comment? You're looking like you want to say.
No, it's just kind of mind-blowing. It really is, because, I mean, obviously you could make anybody leave your house that you want for any reason at all. It's your house.
I feel like the fact that they lied to you.
They kept really pressing it. That's crazy.
That's catfishing. You know?
Yeah.
If an ugly chick came over my house, not happily married now, but if an ugly chick came over, I want to go on.
Yeah, you meet somebody online, they show up and not quite who you thought that they were. You know,
not quite to this. The exact opposite. The exact opposite of what you thought they were. So again, who is the victim? Who's the victim? I don't know. There might be 2 victims here. But as for the man pretending to be a woman that got punched in the face, that's just boxing, Ryan. Like, what's the difference between that and the last story? Difference? I mean, aside from the fact that they're both actually the same sex this time,
right?
At least we know that for sure. I don't know.
You think that would be more acceptable, obviously, than sending a guy out to fight a woman?
Yeah. Well, again, I just want to know the exact second he realized in his facial expression.
To be a fly on the wall.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, though, it's still Pride Month. We're going to talk, I guess, Karine Jean-Pierre. She got a new book out. We're going to cover that in detail. We return to Thinking Logically here on 99.3 FM, WBVP. It's Joe Corsi here from Thinking Logically to tell you about Beaver County's #1 realtor, Mark Galla with RE/MAX Select Realty. With over 10 years experience, Mark knows all the ins and outs of the real estate business, so whether you're looking to rent, buy, sell, or swap your house, you can rely on Mark to take the hassle out. Mark Galla of RE/MAX Select Realty, going above and beyond. It's Joe again from Thinking Logically, here to tell you about one of my favorite clothing items, the MyPillow hoodie. 2 things I love the most about this hoodie are how it fits and how it feels. This hoodie is extremely roomy, and its terry cloth material makes it lighter than any other hoodie I own. Use promo code LOGIC to maximize your savings. The MyPillow hoodie. Get yours today.
Tri-State Sporting Arms on Main Street in New Brighton is now open. Stop in and explore their extensive selection of high-quality firearms, pistols, and accessories. Tri-State Sporting Arms also pays top dollar for used firearms. Their experienced and highly trained staff is here to assist you in selecting the right firearm for you. Stop on down to Beaver County's newest firearm store, Tri-State Sporting Arms, at 807 3rd Avenue, New Brighton, or check them out on Facebook.
Tune in to the Beaver County Radio Morning Show with Frank Sparks and Scott Tatey. Weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. The show is presented by Patriot Home Care. Frank and Scott will get you caught up on what's going on in the world with news, sports, and entertainment, along with playing some of your favorite tunes, including Pittsburgh area bands. They'll also have monthly guests and weekly features like Backyard Beaver County, notes on entertainment. So make plans every weekday morning to jump out of bed, put on a fresh pot of coffee, and tune in to the Beaver County Morning Show with Frank Sparks and Scott Tatey here on Beaver County Radio.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Welcome back to Thinking Logically here on 99.3 FM, WBVP. Talking about quite a lot the judge that told Donald Trump, hey, you can't remove that Egyptian terrorist's family. They got to stay. And again, I can't get over that judge's in his head, Ryan. You showed the picture. Osama Bin Laden.
Yeah.
Osama Bin Laden. My Lord.
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually, you see somebody that has something wrong with them, you try not to stare. This guy, it's unbelievable. I have never seen a jaw like that. It looks like a Dick Tracy villain is exactly what he looks like.
Yeah. Wow. All right, let's move on to something. Before we do, I'll tell you about one of our favorite sponsors, So Fresh, So Clean Pressure Washing. Remember, whether you need your house washed, driveway clean, patio done, fences, gutters, you name it, call Dave from So Fresh, So Clean Pressure Washing at 724-252-4489. That's 724-252-4489. They're fully insured, and they offer free estimates. So what are you waiting for? Don't be the outcast in your neighborhood with a dirty deck or house. Call Dave from So Fresh, So Clean Pressure Washing today. And speaking of that promo, I actually saw, believe it or not, Dave from So Fresh, So Clean Pressure Washing on my way here today. He was pressure washing a house in my neighborhood. And I got to admit, he looked so hot. Now, that's not a Pride Month joke, Ryan. It's actually kind of warm outside.
It's very warm outside, yes.
But a great transition. It's Pride Month, so anything I say is just on fire today. There's so many puns here, Lord. Remember, it is Pride Month, and that means Karine Jean-Pierre is coming out with a new book. Get it? Also, White House Press Secretary, like I said, Karine Jean-Pierre, she left the Democrat Party to become an independent. And that's also the name of the book. And I don't know what you think about this, audience, but we've explained how this works on the show over and over again. She got paid. She got paid to keep her mouth shut. She got a book deal. The book deal is the payment. That's how it works. Remember, the book deal is the payment for keeping your mouth shut while you were in the White House. Let's think about this. She didn't write and publish this book in 130 days. So either someone else wrote and published it for her, or this has always been planned. Which is it? Was she working on this book as she was lying to the American people at the podium? Maybe. Just like Jake Tapper was on television, probably working. He says he only planned on doing it after Election Day. On Election Days when he had the plan for the book. But give me a break if you believe that. They knew. They all knew. If they didn't know, then what's it say about these people's intelligence? Anyway, everyone on Earth, it seems like, not on Earth, everyone that works in the Biden administration is coming out with a book trashing Biden. When, in reality, they were the ones running cover for him. Are these books even going to be able to be listed as nonfiction? I'm being serious. How much of this is just half-truths now? That's what you have to ask. But I have to hammer home. Karine Jean-Pierre, she's not Jake Tapper. She was an official member of this administration. And she was complicit in the lies and cover-ups. We could probably play 30 or 40 minutes, maybe 30 or 40 hours of her at that podium lying to us when she knew. And I saw a tweet Alex Thompson had about people are coming out and so Karine Jean-Pierre's staffers are trashing her, saying that she was always unprepared. Well, I believe that too. Again, I don't understand what's going on here, but you can't tell me that these people are just finding this out now. That for 4 years they didn't know this. Whenever people will call into this station, local people from Beaver County, PA, saw it and would call to their local radio station and say, hey, Joe Biden isn't there. Jake Tapper couldn't see it though. But he gets to write a book and make seven digits off it. Karine Jean-Pierre, she couldn't see it or lied about it. Now she gets to write a book and tell you about it. And you have to buy it and read it. Are you really going to buy it and read it? That's going to be the new role of this show. If you buy these books and you call in to talk about the books, you're banned for life from the show as a caller. Okay, so let's think about this too. Everyone in the media is all of a sudden saying and writing books that Joe Biden has no idea mentally, or had no idea mentally, what was going on for the entire 4 years of his presidency, pretty much. What do we see today, audience? Trump ordered an investigation into those claims. But for some reason, the same media writing books and getting paid now to write books is silent on this Trump investigation, or is just pointing to the Biden camp statement that he released about the book, Jake Tapper's book, not being true. So again, President Trump ordered Attorney General Pam Bondi to launch a full investigation into the Biden auto pen scandal, as well as any cover-ups related to his health. And the media that's not the main story. That's not really the main story. The fact that Trump, if it is, it's in a bad way for some reason. Help me understand this. Call in if you can, please. I'd love to hear your thoughts. The funniest thing in this scenario now would be a criminal investigation with Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson as the key witnesses, and Karine Jean-Pierre. And that's I can't believe I'm saying this. That might be that's a real possibility. Actually, the funniest thing, correct myself, would be Biden coming out with a book telling the American people how he was faking it the whole time. That would be funny. Let's see what I have here. This is from the Oversight Project on X. And again, we're getting into the pardons and everything else about Joe Biden not being there. What if I told you this? Again, Oversight Project on X came out with this. 2/3 of auto pen pardons, including ones for the members of the January 6th committee, also Biden's family members, Dr. Anthony Fauci, Mark Milley, some Iranian spies, well, they occurred when President Joe Biden was physically located in Washington, D.C. 2/3 of the auto pen pardons happened when Joe Biden was physically in Washington, D.C. How's that possible, audience? Think about that. Why would Joe Biden use an auto pen if he was physically in Washington, D.C.? Either because he's dead or he's been replaced by a clone, like we covered in detail last episode. Maybe that. Or, I guess, if you're not a conspiracy theorist, maybe a shadow government was running the country completely. Completely ran by not Joe Biden, but a cluster of people known as a shadow government. Who was in it? Well, again, we covered the fact that we were giving out free crack pipes. We were subsidizing crack pipes in 2022. That tells you maybe Hunter had a role in it, but who else? Just the fact, though, it didn't matter where Joe Biden was. A shadow government could be running the country completely. I mean, I guess both things could be true that I just said. Joe Biden could be a clone or could have died in 2020 like Trump hinted to. And at the same time, a shadow government ran this country for 4 years. Both could be true, I guess. But it can't be neither. It's obvious that it can't be neither. It has to be one. Remember what the media in the Biden camp told us, though, about the auto pen when it was first discovered last year? We talked about this in February, about how all this stuff was revealed last year about the auto pen. CNN wrote an entire article on it. In the article, they said that, where's the clip here I have? The White House has gone to great lengths at times. This is from the article I'm quoting. The White House has gone to great lengths at times to fly physical bills to Biden while he's traveling abroad. This includes a $40 billion Ukraine aid package the president signed while in South Korea in 2022 and a 2022 bill to avert a government shutdown while the president was on vacation. Interesting. So why wouldn't Joe Biden sign pardons while he was in D.C.? Why would he need an auto pen to do it then? Does that make any sense to anyone at all? Because it makes absolutely zero sense to me. What else do they say? This is coming from, again, Oversight Project on X. They also posted this. Every single auto pen commutation, including ones that remove the death sentences of nearly every inmate on federal death row, freed Iranian spies. Again, he was physically in Washington, D.C. Does that make it better or worse? I think it makes it worse. They're rubbing it in your faces. He was there, but because he was either dead already or was still in his coffin like the vampire he is, only able to awake when you have the blood of a young blonde virgin to give him. What does that say? Again, I used to think that a weak, cognitively declining Joe Biden was just signing whatever shows up on his desk. Rubber stamp Joe Biden. But it looks like he wasn't even at the desk. And remember, they had that fake Oval Office set up in the basement or wherever it was. What was up with that? What the hell was up with that? We have pictures of Jill Biden on Air Force One sitting at Joe Biden's desk. I have a question. Where was Joe Biden when that picture was taken and posted? Where was Joe Biden on Air Force One? Was he in the back sleeping? Again, I don't know. I think all the roads may lead to Obama. Where they lead from there, though, I don't know. But every person should be questioned. Staffers, mid-level staffers, everyone. What did you know and when did you know it? This makes Watergate look like an 8th grade ice cream social. Like I said, come on. We don't know who was running our government. We all took time out of our day in 2020 on a day in November. According to Dog, we risked our lives to go vote. Some of us that didn't do the mail-in voting. For what? Who was running the country? For them to install someone? Who'd they install? They didn't even install Joe Biden. It was a shadow government. We don't even know who it was. Again, what's the punishment for stuff like this? Remember what Trump went on trial for over the spring and summer. Mar-a-Lago was only worth $3 million instead of that oceanfront property on 3 sides. Give me a break. What else? Big fat Fannie Willis. Letitia James. I'm sorry, I said Jones. Well, Tish James. Look what she's facing now. It's amazing. I don't know, but this auto pen thing should be the biggest story. You should not be able to change a channel without hearing about the auto pen and the media, the journalists trying to figure out who was behind it, who signed what was their motives. But instead, no one seems to care. Okay, we got to take one more commercial break. When we return, we're going to cover Governor Tim Walz and also the Elon Musk-Donald Trump riff. What's going on there, guys? I don't even want to read you what Elon Musk just posted on social media, but I will when we return to Thinking Logically here on 99.3 FM WBVP.
Cruising season is here. For some of you, that means shining up the car and heading down the highway. For others, it might mean grabbing the wheel on the other side of your vessel and cruising the local waterways in your boat. Yet there are some of you that cruise season means letting somebody else do the driving while you enjoy all-you-can-eat buffets on a luxury liner at sea. This is Andy Dengel from Freedom United Federal Credit Union. Well, whatever floats your boat. Freedom United Federal Credit Union can get you cruising sooner than you think with easy-term auto, recreational vehicle, and vacation loan programs. Put things on cruise control. Visit Freedom United Federal Credit Union today and let the fun begin tomorrow. Loans are based on credit approval. Visit freedomunitedfcu.com for rates and details. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Welcome back to Thinking Logically on 99.3 FM WBVP. We had a big story just break. We're going to save it for the end of the episode, though. Let's just go through these last couple stories here. So, first story. First headline. This just happened a couple days ago. Governor Tim Walz was named Grand Marshal of the Twin Cities Pride Parade. Ryan, I don't even know what the hell that means.
I've never heard that
what
in
is
my
that?
life.
Does that mean he's shirtless, like with one of them batons going down the parade? I mean, he's not big enough to be a parade for it. That's J.D. Pritzker. So that's Governor J.D. Pritzker. Rough crowd here. Is this thing even on? Oh, rough crowd. Anyway, Trump made a comment about Governor Tim Walz today. Play that, Ryan, when you get a chance.
I think I would have won. Susie would say I would have won Pennsylvania easily anyway, even if the governor ran, the real governor, not the governor from Minnesota, he's a sick puppy, that guy. That poor guy, I feel sorry for him. but they made a bad choice with him.
They made a bad choice with him. Yeah, you ain't kidding.
He's a sick puppy. I feel bad for him.
He is a sick puppy. And it's dangerous to be a puppy in Minnesota because remember they are eating the dogs.
That's true. Yes.
Okay. All right. We're gonna move on. Moving on.
Just one question. What's the correlation? I mean, okay, I understand the pride parades and all this, and I understand. But have you ever seen? And I listen. I've never been to one. I've seen videos, and there's a lot of perverse imaging at a pride parade.
How many videos have you seen?
Enough. Listen, but you know what I mean. What is the correlation between all that stuff that that you see people with strapped to their heads on their forehead? Like I said, it's a show.
Yes.
And if you're trying to respectfully, beef up your beliefs, and this is a Pride Month, and we're doing these parades because it's what we believe in. That's why I think that people turn away. Because of the bizarre nature of what these people were doing in these parades. Again, there's things strapped on their foreheads, and use your imagination.
Would you want to watch anyone make out in a movie theater? A guy and a girl?
No, not a fan.
So I don't want to watch anyone make out in public or do anything like that in public. It's just me.
Is it for gay, or is it, like I said, it's just a lot of perverse things that you see. I wouldn't want my kids around this parade and seeing what is going on in the parade. That's where I think a lot of people turn away, Joe, and say, I can't. I just can't side with this.
Just the name Pride. You're celebrating, like you live in America. You could do whatever you want with whoever you want. You don't have a month to celebrate. It's the dumbest thing ever, in my opinion. But whatever, have fun.
I've seen these videos, and I think to myself, I just don't understand. Again, you're trying to get people to support you, and these images are something that I wouldn't think they would want related to what their fights for. Yeah. But apparently I'm wrong.
But they seem to be having fun, and that's all that matters, I guess.
They seem to be having fun, yes.
Speaking of a guy that had a lot of fun, the Diddler. This is a wild story. So Pete Diddy's former assistant and alleged victim, and the prosecutor's star witness, I guess, I guess they gave her the name Maya. She took the stand a couple days ago and mentioned Mike Myers' name in connection to the CIA. Did you see about this? Mike Myers, Austin.
No.
He really is an international man of mystery. I'm not joking around. Austin Powers was with the CIA, supposedly. I mean, come on. That is completely wild. It was someone else too. I don't know if it was Brad Pitt or the other one.
It was actually Mike Myers?
Yeah, Mike Myers. Austin Powers with the CIA. And it just got me thinking, remember Zoolander when David Duchovny's character tells Derek Zoolander that all models and actors are actually CIA spies?
Yes.
But the fact that it was Austin Powers, I mean, we need Austin Powers back to punch some of these people in the face and go, that's a man, baby. That's a man, baby. That's not a woman. I don't know. All right. I don't know. Moving on. So during a House committee hearing, the National Low-Income Housing Coalition CEO, Diane Yentl, refused to tell a member of Congress if she is or isn't a covert white supremacist. Please play this funny audio of him just asking her over and over. It's a simple question.
The nonprofit.
Are you a covert white supremacist?
Can I talk about the work that nonprofits do?
No, I'm asking you if you're a covert white supremacist, which, according to one of your own organizations, again, denial of racism constitutes covert white supremacy. Would you like to answer the question?
I don't know what the question is.
So you refuse to answer whether you are a covert white supremacist?
I am here to talk about the essential work that nonprofits do. If you'd like to ask me a question,
I am utterly dumbfounded. You are on record right now, and you will not say that you are not a covert white supremacist?
I don't have a definition in front of me. I haven't looked at the definition. I'm not going to answer a question about my personal views. I'm here to talk about the work of nonprofit organizations.
I want to give you one more chance to do this. Are you a covert white supremacist?
Why are we so off track from the topic?
I'm asking you a very straightforward question.
I've heard your question. Thank you, sir.
And you're not going to answer whether you are a covert white supremacist.
I would like to answer questions about the work of nonprofit organizations. Thank you.
That is really, really astounding. I can answer very directly that I am not a covert white supremacist, and I imagine all of my colleagues can as well.
I'm not a covert white supremacist. Ryan, are you?
I am not.
Very simple.
I am not.
Very simple. I don't know why she just couldn't say that. I mean, just maybe she was an overt white supremacist. I don't know.
That is odd that she just wouldn't answer.
I don't know. Weird. Okay, Elon Musk and Donald Trump, they're going at it on X. So Elon Musk posted this. He's bitter about that one big, beautiful bill. Remember, Elon Musk said that without him, quote, Trump would have lost the election. Such ingratitude. And then he posted this. Time to drop the really big bomb. This is Elon Musk posted this. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, Donald John Trump. And wow, Elon Musk just accused Donald Trump of being in the Epstein files. And I have to say, first of all, this is a budget, the one big beautiful bill. It's a budget reconciliation bill. So to get it passed, we only need 50 votes as opposed to a 60 vote threshold in the Senate if it's an actual bill. So Trump and his team are willing to let Congress get their pork, get their extra laundering money, as long as Trump is able to pass what is needed to advance his agenda. That's old school politics. I mean, that was politics. Now, all you're seeing here is people actually exposing themselves again. The media, everyone else. I'd like to ask the media, what are the things more important? This rift going on between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, or the Joe Biden auto pen scandal? Why is that getting no media play? I guess the Epstein thing is pretty important too. So I don't know. Maybe the media are looking into that. Maybe Trump's daring the media to bring up the Epstein files because I don't know. They're exposing themselves. That's all. Why would Elon talk about the Epstein files? It's almost like Donald Trump said, bring up the Epstein files, fake like we're having an argument like this is WWF wrestling. That'll get the media to think that I am really in the Epstein files. And maybe they'll bring up the Epstein files and we can release the Epstein files. I don't know. Maybe I'm spitballing crazy stuff here. I don't know, Ryan. Last segment before we move to some breaking news, or last topic, I should say. Man hopped fence at Mar-a-Lago, told police he wanted to marry Kai Trump. And let me give you some advice from my life experiences. If you want to get the girl, sometimes you got to go through some extreme lengths. That's all I'll say. All right, breaking news. Ryan, do you want to announce it? You're the sports guy, I guess.
Big news just came through. Frank came in and gave us the scoop that Aaron Rodgers will be signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers on a 1-year deal, guys. It is decided. The team finishes up OTAs today. They come back for mandatory minicamp next week, where Mr. Rodgers will be he'll be present. And as of right now, as of about in the last half hour, we just got the news that Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler on a 1-year deal coming up this season.
What took you long? What took him so long? You think the fact that was he trying to get a mushroom dealer here?
I think it was a little bit of a lot of things, and I think ultimately he didn't want to. He's a 4-time MVP. He's going to be 42 years old. He's been in the league. He's won a Super Bowl. He didn't want to come and do OTAs and all that stuff. I think him coming next week, I think that's going to smooth things over for people, because there were a lot of people saying, how is this good for the team? The fact that the quarterback, if it's going to be him, isn't showing up. So I think things will start smoothing out. You're still going to have your half of people that like the idea, the half of people that don't like the idea of Aaron coming. But there you go, guys. We have a quarterback.
Should the FBI monitor Aaron Rodgers and any funguses he brings to the tri-state area, Western Pennsylvania?
Well, let's see how many interceptions and touchdowns he throws first before we start calling in the FBI.
I actually like Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. We'll
I
see.
mean, he was a great, and he was just in that flock of guys. Your Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, and Aaron Rodgers. And, he's lingering around the longest, and I can't imagine it's going to go too far beyond this, because he will be 42 years old during this football season.
Wow. But hey, Steelers have a quarterback.
We got a quarterback. You know what, though? Last year we brought in a guy who is a Hall of Fame quarterback. Russell Wilson is going to go to the Hall of Fame one day. So we're going to give it a go again. We'll see if we can bring back one of these older future Hall of Famers and see if we can make it happen. But if it doesn't work, we do have the draft coming here in Pittsburgh next year, 2026, and we have a lot of draft capital. So I think we'll probably be going after a young stud next year.
Okay, that's Ryan Garazunas of Two Dumb Yinzers podcast. Check him out there if you want more sports takes. If you want more political takes, This show is called Thinking Logically. We're here every Monday and Thursday on Beaver County Radio WBVP from 3 to 4 p.m. now. And we'll be back again, like I said, Monday, 3 to 4 p.m. See you then. Until then, it's Joe Corsi signing off here on Beaver County Radio 99.3 FM WBVP.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.